How is it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its Player's Choice sale, and I've got some deals under the price of $5. We've got a total of 15 games to go over, and I did try to include some things that, some games that I don't typically mention, but you guys know how it is. Sometimes we do some retreads, but it's relevant to some of you guys. There's always new people watching these videos and people that haven't picked up certain games. So with that being said, let's get right into it, and let's kick things off with Dishonored, the Definitive Edition. It is 75% off for $4.99. I absolutely love Dishonored. To give you guys a bit of a throwback here, I played Dishonored right when it came out, and I actually got a physical copy of the game on PC. Like, yes, a hard copy on PC. And, dating myself a little bit, but the game came out back in 2012. I think that was, like, at the tail end of PC still getting physical game releases. But, man, I love Dishonored. I was blown away by it. Didn't really know much about the game leading into its release. Had a friend that was playing it, and he was talking up the game, and then I ended up checking it out and was blown away by it. Love the art style to the game that I feel like has aged fairly gracefully, in the sense that, it's a 13-year-old game, but it still looks pretty good with the art style that it employs. It was never this technically groundbreaking game, but really what was the most engaging element of Dishonored was the gameplay, the ability to go for the more methodical, stealthy approach or utilize a more action-heavy approach, and the ability to check out the different abilities and how you use that in the combat. I thought it was a really, really well done game. I thought narratively it was pretty good. Not super lengthy, but the Definitive Edition does include the DLC. I think for $4.99, it's a really good pickup. If you never checked it out, highly recommended. Hopefully, sometime in this life, Arcane will go back to Dishonored. I know, they put out Deathloop. Now they're working on Marvel Blade. I don't know if they'll ever go back to Dishonored, but it is what it is. Definitely a great game there, $5 on that. Next up, Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise, 75% off for $4.99. Truth be told, I'm not a big Fist of the North Star guy. It's an anime that was a little bit before my time, but this game is from Ryuga Gotoku Studios, the developers of Yakuza, and it's kind of their forgotten game, but it's very much an RGG title in the sense that the gameplay is very much akin to that. The beat-em-up combat is great, and, if you're a fan of the anime, you'll probably enjoy this game even more than me, and it's just been this, forgotten PlayStation 4 exclusive. Came out back in 2018 to not a lot of fanfare, but it was a fairly well-done game, and I think for this price point, a pretty solid pickup, so check that out at $4.99. Next up, we got Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, 90% off for $3.99. The dialogue and the vulgarity of Bulletstorm, I don't think is going to resonate with that many people today. Maybe it will. Maybe I'm out to lunch with that take, and maybe some people will find this game hilarious, but beyond that, I know this game got a lot of traction for its dialogue and the vulgarity and whatnot, but the gameplay is really where I feel like Bulletstorm shines, and this is a fairly short game. It's a game that you can complete in 6 to 7 hours, but it's a 6 to 7 hour, action-heavy experience. It's over-the-top mayhem, and I think it's really well done in that regard, and for $3.99, I think it's a great pickup. Back in the day when people were spending $60 on it, yeah, you felt a little bit ripped off, I think. I think a lot of people felt ripped off. A lot of people bought it for, I think it was the Gears 3 beta back in the day, but for $3.99, if you want a fast-paced, action-heavy game that you can get through over the course of a weekend or even a single sitting, I think it's a pretty solid shout. $3.99 for that. Next up, we got Valkyria Chronicles Remastered, 75% off for $4.99. It wouldn't be a complete video if I don't at least mention one JRPG. Valkyria Chronicles is a game that I actually did another playthrough of recently, a couple months ago, over the summer. It was just, not a lot of games were coming out, and I was on this kick of playing through games that I played when I was younger from that 2008, 2009 period. I ended up playing Infamous, Dragon Age Origins, Valkyria Chronicles 1, and man, Valkyria Chronicles 1, there are times where this game is infuriating, and tactics games are gonna be difficult for some people, difficult for me, one of the low IQ individuals out there. Tactics games can be rough for somebody like me having a difficult time with Final Fantasy Tactics right now as well, but Valkyria Chronicles is still an awesome game, and it's an incredibly rewarding game when you get the units right, when you get the positioning right, and you make your way through a mission, some of the more challenging missions. The game definitely starts off pretty simple and pretty easy, but then there's a certain point where I feel like the missions get fairly difficult, and yeah, it's definitely a rewarding game. I think narratively the game is awesome. Not that you're gonna be blown away by the characters, but I think it's just a gripping war story, and you know, how it unfolds I think is pretty well done. I would say for $4.99, it's a great pickup. Just, you know, if you're not familiar with tactics games, this can definitely get a little bit challenging, and it's not like there's difficulty settings in the main story, so keep that in mind as well. But $5 for that, a good pickup for, you know, a 35, 40 hour long game. It can be even longer if you do all the side content and things like that. And love the art style, love how they told the story with the use of a storybook, but a great pickup there. Next up, we have Neon Abyss, 75% off for $4.99. Stylish action game. Neon Abyss is a frantic roguelike action platformer where you run and gun your way into the abyss as a part of the Hades-formed Grim Squad, featuring unlimited item synergies and a unique dungeon evolution system. Each run diversifies the experience and every choice alters the rule set. Get ready to unleash hell, combining furious run and gun action and deep roguelike mechanics. Neon Abyss pits you as a member of the Grim Squad, a task force set up by Hades himself to infiltrate the abyss and defeat the new gods. Death is not the end, as every time you die, you'll find yourself more empowered than before. An evolving dungeon. With each run, you'll be able to unlock new rooms, items, bosses, special rules, and even new endings, unlimited item synergies, and hatch and evolve pets, and you've got mini games as well. $4.99 for Neon Abyss. Next up, we got the Talos Principle Deluxe Edition, $4.49 on this. Now, to be fair, they did just release Talos Principle Reawaken. It's like a remake of the original game with some enhancements, extensions, things of that nature. But that game still goes for a premium. Talos Principle itself is an incredibly compelling puzzle game, and I'm not super into puzzle games like that, but I thought Talos Principle was relatively accessible as well, and it had more of a philosophical thematic to it. Thought it was really well done. Visuals are great, even with the original release, and while I say it's an accessible puzzle game, definitely there is a level of complexity to it as well, and puzzle games aren't really my foray. You know, low IQ individuals like myself, puzzles aren't our strong suit, but nevertheless, Talos Principle, $4.49 on that, so check that out if you're looking for a pretty interesting puzzle title there. Axiom Verge, 75% off for $4.99. This is a Metroidvania that I played literally when it came out, and back in 2015 when it came out, I feel like the competition for Metroidvanias and quality Metroidvanias wasn't as steep, so I think Axiom Verge really stood out. It was also a game done by one person, so I was always fascinated by that and blown away by the fact that one person was able to release a game like this. Very much a throwback to like the Super Nintendo era of games, but if you're into that, you're gonna enjoy the game quite a bit, and for $4.99, I think it's a great buy. Again, there's quite a lot of competition in this market these days in terms of quality Metroidvanias, but I think Axiom Verge is still a pretty decent time, and for $4.99, a good buy there. Next up, Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap is $4.99. This game's actually done by Dotemu, who have been getting a lot of traction recently. Streets of Rage 4, obviously the new Shinobi game as well, and Absalom I believe they were involved with as well, and that game's getting a lot of positive buzz as well. But Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap came out a few years ago, and it's a gorgeous game, and I think that's what Dotemu does really well. They go back to these historic IPs, and they look phenomenal to a newer audience as well, boasting beautiful hand-drawn animations and a reorchestrated soundtrack. The cult classic returns with a unique blend of exploration, action, and adventure. Cursed into a half-human, half-lizard monstrosity by the Mecha Dragon, you are in search for a cure. The only way you can return to a human form is to find the salamander across a magical item with the power to remove curses. With each dragon slain, the curse intensifies, transforming you into different animals. Explore large interconnected locations populated with grumpy monsters and exotic dragons as well. Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap is available for $4.99. Next up, if you're looking for a horror-esque game, you know, a darker game, Darkwood is available for $4.49, plus members will get it for $3.74. Really well-received game, a challenging survival horror that does not rely on jump scares. Craft weapons, prepare traps, fortify hideouts, and you'll explore and scavenge the eerie forests of the Soviet bloc by day, then hunker down in your hideout at night with nightmarish forces corrupting the woods. Wait and pray for the sun to come up the next morning. Wade through the grueling, bizarre world of Darkwood and delve into the creepiest secrets of its inhabitants to escape the infested land before it destroys your body and consumes your mind. That is available for $3.74 for Plus subscribers, $4.49 for its base price. Next up, we have Guns, Gore, and Cannoli, 50% off for $4.99. Prepare yourself for a non-stop action-packed, completely over-the-top, fast-paced platformer set against the gangster heyday of the Roaring 20s. Lose yourself in an exciting, elaborate tale of the underground and underworld. Experience friendship, betrayal, vengeance, and witness firsthand the rise and fall of a criminal mastermind. This is survival horror, wise guy style. Capiche? The game tells the story of Vinny Cannoli and his mob family set in the fictional thug town circa 1925, the height of prohibition. Beneath the city overrun by zombies, there's a dark story of conspiracy and betrayal. Unravel the sneaky mafia ways and government conspiracy while you try to look for your lost pal and for answers about the zombie outbreak. You've got action-packed gameplay, beautifully hand-drawn 2D graphics and animations, immersive world and period, and 4-player local co-op is there as well. $4.99 for Guns, Gore, and Cannoli. Next up, a little bit of a contrast from the last two games. If you want something more on the cutesy side, Slime Rancher is 75% off for $4.99. Incredibly well-received game. Slime Rancher is a charming first-person sandbox experience. Play as Beatrix LeBeau, a plucky young rancher who sets out for a life 1,000 light years away from Earth on the far, far range. You've got 3 different game modes in Adventure, Casual, and Rush. You've got a vast open world full of secrets. Discover dozens of colorful slimes, grow crops, and raise chickadoos to feed your collection of hungry slimes. Earn money to upgrade your backpack, build more corrals, or expand your ranch. Get creative and combine slimes into more than 150 hybrid slimes as well. Slime Rancher is available for $4.99. Next up, a game that I imagine most of you guys own, but if you don't, the open world action title, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor Game of the Year Edition is 75% off for $4.99. But Shadow of Mordor is a phenomenal game. Came out all the way back in 2014, 11 years old is Shadow of Mordor, which is insane to think about, but visually the game still holds up, man. It looks fantastic. Stylish action gameplay, incredibly satisfying from a gameplay standpoint as well. Good bit of content. You know, I'm not a big Lord of the Rings guy or anything, so thematically, it's not really gonna hit home with me, but still, from a gameplay standpoint, thought it was great. $4.99, good pickup on that for sure. Next up, we got Watch Dogs, $4.99 on this. Actually did a playthrough of Watch Dogs not too long ago, and you know, going back and playing through it without the expectations that people had back in 2014, I had a good time with the game. I did think that I was not blown away by the narrative whatsoever, and I know some people like the main character in Watch Dogs. I don't find him to be a compelling character whatsoever, but from a gameplay standpoint, I did have a good time with Watch Dogs in the sense of the unique mechanics and, you know, the style of game that it is and utilizing all the hacker abilities. I thought it was fun on that end. It definitely does feel like a Ubisoft game at a fundamental level, open world, a lot of icons, you know. There's a good bit of content to do if you do everything, but yeah, worthwhile game at this price point for sure. Moving Out is $4.99. Moving Out is a ridiculous physics-based moving simulator that brings a new meaning to couch co-op. Are you ready for an exciting career in furniture? As a newly certified furniture arrangement and relocation technician, you'll take on moving jobs all across the town of Packmore. Grow smooth moves to brave new heights, recruit colorful, customizable characters, and save your town from furniture apparel. Moving Out is available for $4.99. And lastly, we've got the quirky title in Overcooked. This is a game that's definitely, you know, a chaotic couch co-op title cooking game for 1 to 4 players. You can play it solo, but ideally, working as a team, you and your fellow chefs must prepare, cook, and serve up a variety of tasty orders before the paying customers storm out in a huff. Sharpen your knives and dust off your chef's white. There isn't much room for error, and the stakes are high in these crazy kitchens. So, Overcooked is available for just $3.39. If you want an over-the-top co-op game, you'll find it with Overcooked. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of PlayStation Store deals under the price of $5. Check them out for yourself. Links to everything in the description box below. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.